Hey everybody, welcome back to another full self-driving beta video. I am super excited to talk to you about how 11.4.7 operates in downtown Chicago. I have my brother and my sister-in-law in the car with me, and I'm going to be covering the top 3 issues with beta that really need to improve with version 12 coming up. I'm really excited to get that version. Not sure exactly when it will drop. There's a lot of speculation that it will come in December. We're not certain. I'd love to hear from you in the comments as far as when you think that version will arrive. It's a big challenge to bring all neural nets and bring that into the mix. It's going to be a game changer. I'm really looking forward to it. Before we get started, I just want to say a huge thank you to Peter Thomas, who is my new subscriber on Patreon. You are my first subscriber, and I love you to death. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate everyone's support. Without you, I wouldn't be able to grow and continue to improve my channel. When you hear that sound, that means FSD Beta is enabled. I come up to this intersection here and I'm a little bit anxious, you'll see. So at this point, I really didn't know what was going to happen. It made me a little bit anxious because sometimes it can go out and then interrupt the flow of traffic. In this case, it didn't do it. A truck comes, I wait for it, and it ends up going. I rolled down my window and waved my hand out the window to say thank you. Thankfully, I didn't have to press on the accelerator. And yeah, he was very kind to give me the patience. Yeah, typically what ends up happening with these drives in the city is it's overly cautious, which is a good thing, but it's not good when other people are impatient. Like that truck, he was pretty patient. But if it was like a taxi driver and I took that much time, they'd get really mad. Depends on the situation. So this scooter comes flying down the sidewalk. Later, he's going to get in the way. My car freaks out. It slows down. My brother gets irritated, thinking we're going to get rear-ended. With city driving. Let's see, like that guy on the scooter. Yeah. It's trying to go around him. Oh. I don't know what that was for. Could have just got rear-ended. All right, I'm going to replay this at normal speed and then slow it down and do the play-by-play. Yeah. It's trying to go around him. Oh. So you can see there's several things going on here. The car on the left kind of came across the yellow lines, and then the scooter guy turned blue. But the other car didn't turn blue. So I'm going to do almost frame by frame here. You can see it's a solid blue path, and then suddenly it disappears almost at the same time that the person turns blue. So this has every indication that it has to do with the scooter. Now, it was overreacting, and it's definitely uncomfortable when you're sitting in the car. No, I'm looking behind me. So it sees these people here, so it's taking caution because of them, and these guys shouldn't be out on the road. Well, actually, I take that back. He shouldn't be going that way, right? But it is a bicycle lane here. Yeah, so many people are curious to see how this works, especially over in Europe, because they haven't released this overseas. So a lot of my viewers on my channel are coming in from other countries. Oh wow! Yeah, they all want to see how good it's getting and whether it'll work for them. And then the other half of my viewers are ones that, don't have the software. What is going on? But they're considering getting it. So first of all, a huge shout out to my overseas viewers. Thank you so much for your support and watching my videos. I just had 2 slowdowns here. It was really disappointing, and I'm going to slow it way down and do an analysis here of these 2 as well. Unfortunately, like I said, when you're watching these videos, you don't really get a sense for how dramatic these slowdowns are. These never were an issue prior to 11.4.7. I really haven't had too many of these downtown Chicago, but with this version, I've had quite a few now, and it's really disturbing, especially, like I said, when you are a passenger or inside of the car. So here we're speeding up a little bit, 4 miles per hour, keep an eye on the speed here, 4, and then suddenly it's at 5, and then 4.3 suddenly it slows way down. Now look at that, there's a person blue way up there in the intersection, not sure why, but then a bicyclist comes out right from behind me, and I thought maybe it was reacting to them, but then here again, it's slowing way down for these people that are way up in the intersection. Not sure what that's all about. Very disappointing, and again, not appropriate. So they're debating, like, is it worth it to buy it? Is it not worth it? Is it ready? So today it's not fully ready, as we all know, but it's still fun to explore. Take a look at this. It's changing away from path blockage. These situations always surprise me. It does a phenomenal job recognizing this well in advance and then moving over. I didn't even know it was happening until it happened. In fact, in this case, I didn't even know it happened at all. But overall, I would say, the number one issue in busy cities like this is just how it's awkward and too slow to commit to doing different things. So these slowdowns, like I said, are unusual. I haven't really witnessed them too much driving around Chicago. It's kind of a new behavior with 11.4.7. But yes, the first issue is awkwardness. So in 0.3 miles, we have to go left onto an unnamed road. It just makes no sense because all these roads have names. All right, so from here, I am going to start highlighting the second and the third issues with full self-driving beta overall in general, but especially in busy cities like this. So unfortunately, it's just not really at a stage where I feel comfortable using it on a regular basis. And unless I'm filming, I really would not be using beta in the city of Chicago. I will tell you that right now.
How many Tesla people have this full
Not very
FSD?
many. Not very many. A lot of people are waiting. They're waiting for it to be more proven. So you could hear the noise there. There was something that fell out of the seat. Unfortunately, it had a false slowdown yet again, and I'm going to slow it down so we can really analyze this. First, I'm going to replay it in the exact same speed that we just witnessed, and then we're going to go through it.
How many Tesla people have this full
Not very
FSD?
many. Not very many. A lot of people are waiting. They're waiting for it to be more proven. So, okay, we're coming up to this intersection. We get up to 15 miles an hour, almost going through the intersection, and then it slows down abruptly. Unfortunately, this was another situation where it made it very uncomfortable. We're going 15 miles per hour here, and then suddenly it slows down. So let's see if you can catch where it's slowing down, or why it's slowing down, rather. Unfortunately, like I said, it just makes it very awkward. Here we go. I'm going to go frame by frame and zoom in so you can take a look here. Right here. There is a bicyclist, and they are in the way, apparently. So there was an improvement, supposedly an improvement made with full self-driving beta to protect VRUs with version 11.4.6, I believe, vulnerable road users. It's still a bit rough around the edges. It's not, like I just had to intervene there because it was braking. And right now it doesn't know where the lines are, so it's kind of freaking out. Now it had the turn signal on for a second and confused that person. We're supposed to go left on this Whacker Drive here. And now it's going to be really hard. It's going to miss it. So I'm going to take over. And there is the second major issue, is that it misses turns. Unfortunately, this is still an issue. Now take a look here, or take a listen. My sister-in-law asks a really interesting question.
How often do you use the self-driving features? In like your day-to-day? You just do it for your videos?
Yeah, I just do it, like, especially down in the city. I'm not going to use it because it's just not appropriate in a lot of cases. So I use this. I use this to kind of put it to the test. So this feedback, I'm one of the original group testers. I got brought in. So there's 300,000 testers across North America, including Canada and the USA. And out of that, there's maybe 200 to 300 testers that get the updates before everybody else. And they also have special features. Like I have this camera, nobody else has that. Elon Musk saw my tweets and added me into the original group. So as I'm talking here, seemingly bragging, my car is doing some unusual things here again. I'm going to slow it down and we're going to take a look at what's happening here yet again. This is the third most annoying thing that I really hope gets fixed with version 12 is these false slowdowns. Take a look. The bicyclist is coming here. It does not turn blue I don't recognize the bicyclist, and I have no idea. I'm suspecting that it's because of the cyclist, but I really have no idea why it's slowing down. This, for a passenger, creates a very uncomfortable experience and just overall is not really appropriate. And this is my third major complaint right now with the current state of full self-driving beta. And my feedback when I park in my garage, my car uploads like 40 gigabytes of video data to train their AI. So like this is always fascinating, seeing the people crossing the street. Now there should be just tons of people showing up right now, but there's not. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, what distance does it, like, is it, I don't know, 50 feet in front, where it's like if you're in this, like, a certain range, it detects you?
It can go pretty far. So there's 3 cameras up here that are looking at everything in front of the car, and then there's 2 cameras on each side of the car. And then in the back, there's one on the trunk or the lift gate. So between the 8 cameras, it can see pretty much everything. The only limited angle is these repeater cameras on the left side. They can't see all the way, so it has to creep forward to see left and right. Like as a human, you can turn your head and you get a really nice view. The cameras are a little bit limited in that regard. So here I think it's worried about that lady. Although she didn't turn blue on the screen. So like that scenario is nice because I'm running the cameras, so I can go back and review that. And speaking of which, let's go ahead and do just that. You can see here this lady is coming into the road. My car proceeds to slow down right about now. She does not turn blue on the screen. However, my car is still slowing down. Now, that's fine because it's safe. However, it's just not appropriate. And if somebody was right behind me, it would be even more awkward or very uncomfortable as the driver. And this is a situation where it's just going to be extremely difficult to solve and incorporate it into the neural nets, because there are some situations where someone might be running and they're not looking, but how do you detect that with the cameras? It's a very, very challenging situation, and I'm very optimistic that Tesla will be able to solve it, but man, is it difficult. So let's hope that gets resolved with version 12 and moving forward. The version 12 that they're coming out with is going to have no heuristics, no C++ program code. It's going to be entirely AI. So what it's going to do is say, okay, this is a hexagon shape, and it has the letters STOP, and we don't know what that means, but we know that every car is stopping for these, so we should stop too. So then the car stops.
I feel like whenever you're using AI, or like AI is taking all this data in, especially in driving in these scenarios, I hope it's watching or getting data from good drivers.
I know, that's the fear, right? Exactly. So it has to filter out the bad drivers. So one problem that Tesla had was the National Highway, I can't remember what it stands for, but NHTSA, NHTSA. It's like the Highway Transportation Authority. They found out that the Tesla vehicles weren't stopping at stop signs entirely. Like the law says you have to come to a complete stop.
Yeah. They're like rolling through.
Yeah, and initially
because everybody rolls through.
Exactly. So it was following everybody else's behavior. So what they had to do to satisfy NHTSA is they had to cherry pick examples of people that stop completely at stop signs.
Yeah.
And only page. And so that was like a really hard thing. And in fact, I think they had to hard code that one. All right, so coming up here, this intersection is extremely difficult. It's stressful enough driving in a busy city like Chicago without self-driving software. This adds a whole nother level. So you can see a lot of variables here, people crossing the street. The biggest thing are all these cars coming on the left. So I will warn you here, if you're a little bit nervous or anxious in heavy traffic, close your eyes or fast forward, because this part is probably not for you. But this is one of the biggest issues I have with beta.
Jeez.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't think it should be beta, John. I think it's like really rough still. That's-
You're not liking all the jerking motions?
no, I don't think the cars behind us like it either.
They honked at us. Yeah, they definitely honked at us. So yeah, it's not really that great in those situations. I probably should have labeled this video as 4 big issues with beta that I would like to see resolved, because that is a big issue. You'll see it in the next video that I post here coming up. I am a little bit behind on editing, a lot of personal stuff going on in my life right now, but merging is a big problem with beta. It just became an issue with version 11.
And it really gives a big buffer for the front.
Yeah. You used to be able to adjust that, the car distance, like the length that it would wait behind another vehicle. Now there's just 3 settings. So if I push the scroll wheel, you get assertive, average, or chill. And in the city, I always keep it on assertive so that it can, try to get out there as quickly as possible. But yeah, what you guys are witnessing is the latest version of this software, and not that many people have it. A lot of people are still stuck on the older versions. So they're taking this feedback from the select group of original group testers and then using that feedback. So whenever I'm down here, they know, their training sets know that Chicago needs a lot of work.
Yeah, let's just focus on the road right now.
Yeah. So if you couldn't tell already, my brother is getting increasingly more and more anxious. I did have to step on the accelerator to get around that bus. It wasn't going to go otherwise.
You should be sitting up here, Jen.
No, I'm okay.
I don't like this.
I'm okay.
I don't trust AI as much as you do, John. Because at the end of the day, it's all written by humans, and humans make mistakes. Humans make errors. I work in software. I know all about it. There's bugs all over the place, and so and you're putting your life in the hands of engineers writing code. Never a good idea. It's never a good idea.
So some uncomfortable laughter there, but in reality, my brother does have a point with the way that it currently operates. However, with version 12, it's going to be completely neural nets, and what that means is that there's going to be no hard coding whatsoever. So the humans have been completely taken out of the equation. And I do agree with that approach. However, there are going to be a lot of challenges. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of weights that you need to assign to make sure that it applies things correctly in every given situation. So for example, if you have like an intersection that is similar in 10 different environments, and 6 of them are supposed to operate a particular way, you're going to leave out those other 4, the other 40%. So you do have to take into account those scenarios. Now, coming up here, we have a really interesting scenario. Take a look at what happens.
Look at that. Is it trying to go around there? What's it doing?
Yeah, it tried to go into that cone. Jeez. That's not the first time that my car has tried to go into that construction cone in that turn lane in that exact same spot. I've reported that multiple times. I did mention on X recently that I didn't quite understand why we are reporting feedback to Tesla again and again and again and again, and then it never gets fixed. I do recognize that it's a significant challenge to address things in particular areas, but still, it remains a point of contention for me and really makes me wonder why I keep reporting things. I will say that if you've made it this far into the video and you're still watching, thank you so much. I'm going to point out a couple other scenarios here. This one in particular is extremely difficult, I think, to automate. You can see this car suddenly puts on their reverse. They put their car into reverse. My car does not seem to recognize that. And if I were to keep it in full self-driving beta mode, I think it would really struggle here. I would probably try to go around. Now there's a lot of cars. I'm driving manually and it's hard enough. These situations are really tricky, I think, for AI to solve. And, just those unexpected scenarios in busy cities is a big challenge. So like I said, I'm eternally optimistic, and I really hope that this can get solved through neural nets and a 100% neural net approach. But I also at the same time am, I don't want to say skeptical, but I am concerned that it might not be complete for quite a while. And this is another perfect example of a situation that's just extremely difficult. I mean, you think of like AI solving or mastering chess. This is like chess on steroids. I mean, to get into this intersection, you need to be extremely assertive. I'm hanging out here in the intersection, but it's the right thing to do. There's cars coming in back of me, cars coming on the left. This is a very awkward position to be in, but had I not been in there, I would have been blocking traffic and people would have been honking at me. And I guarantee you that full self-driving beta would have just stayed there because there were pedestrians crossing the street. You know, the challenge is the software needs to be intelligent enough, the AI needs to be intelligent enough to say, I'm going to go even though I may plow into these people. And the people, you know, you as a driver, as a human driver, just know that the people will yield to you and they need to yield to you. When in reality, in the suburbs, for example, you need to yield to the pedestrians. But in a busy city, it's kind of the other way around in a lot of situations because otherwise you just cause significant traffic jams and people get upset very quickly. And I've stated this before and I'll say it again. I personally don't think that full self-driving will be fully accomplished until 2030 or 2035. I think we are a good 7 to 14 years away still from this being rolled out. It is a significant challenge. I think one that a lot of people just don't quite understand. I appreciate how some people really think that it will be complete by the end of next year, for example, but you know, just from my standpoint, that's not going to happen. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. If you enjoy my content, please like and subscribe. Throw a comment down below that helps the algorithm. I'm trying to increase the value of my channel and increase the quality of my content, so probably my videos will be fewer and far between, unfortunately, but I value high quality content myself, and I don't want to just throw out any and every video because that can get a little bit mundane and boring, and I don't have the clout that some other beta video content creators have at this point in time, so I'm still trying to build my base. Thanks so much for being a part of that. I really appreciate you, and I hope you have a great day.